Good morning. This is part 2 of the pond excursion after 4 years of construction and working on it and maintaining and managing, doing all the stuff that any homesteader would do, any permaculture enthusiast would do. So picking up from part 1, this road bed right here was installed about 10 years ago before I moved onto the property, and it just works out that I can create these cascading ponds and utilize this road bed, build this road bed up just a little bit, and I'll probably have 24 inches that tapers off all the way back to this area right here, down to nothing, and then 24 inches from the culvert pipe going back that way to the other side, basically where you see that line of dirt and grass on the other side. So that will be a quasi dam, but as I said, I've done no work in preparation for this actually being a dam. It's nothing more than a barrier, but I have to have some relief, and I took this culvert right here and I moved it from back over here over the past weekend. I'll show you that in just a minute. But I've tried other methods. Some of you might say, well, why not just put a level sill in right here? What has happened is I've done that, and the level sill ends up getting blown out, and it just completely erodes. It has eroded this area all the way back to the pond. So I'm not sure if it's just simply the type of soil that I have. Maybe it was just that, the road bed or the sill bed itself was not established and didn't have any root system in it. But anyway, rather than fight against that, I decided to go ahead and install this culvert. I like what I see here because that ridged type plastic culvert, it's not moving, it's not being the hydraulics are not cutting out, and the pipe is big enough that allows for a major rain event like last night for it to flow through here. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. This whole area right here where you see this water coming out and things are building up right there, this will become another pond. That's next season. We'll work on getting these trees out of here over the winter, and we'll begin the process of cutting out the depression for the pond. I've got it designed so that this pond actually can back up all the way to, you may not be able to see it, but there's an elevation change. It comes up right here, and it's about a 3.5 or 4 foot difference between that edge or that elevation and down here, which means that when I cut my excavations out here, I'll need to come into here and do something to raise this level here. And I may not do that. I may just simply leave it like it is and make a smaller pond there and just excavate the area. And if it overflows into here, it basically becomes like a floodplain. One of the things that I'm thinking about, this is where that culvert came out. I had to dig this up. And the guy before me, he laid the culvert down, and you can see that this is all busted up concrete. It kind of surprised me. I thought really all he had was cinder blocks along the edge of the road bed on both sides, but I think this whole thing is filled in with brick, chipped up concrete. That's pretty much it. I don't really see any, what you'd say, rock. Oh, yeah, brick, cinder block. That's what. So basically three material, man-made materials are or down here. But you could see, rather than try to get all that stuff up and out of there, I think what I'll do is leave it. And I just mentioned, rather than raise the level of the roadbed, is to cut this area out and excavate it so that my level becomes, the top level becomes right there where that water's flowing across. I may throw all of this rock down in there and see if I can get that level to rise up just a little bit. Maybe throw a little bit of dirt down in there and create the illusion of a natural creek flowing through here across rocks and what have you. You can hear right there, it's creating a little bit of the babbling brook sound, water rolling across those rocks. Now this area right here will be the major pond, and we're talking about across the backside there's roughly 150 feet that I'll go in and excavate out and do an actual dam and create the barrier that will hold all of this water back up all the way to the top of the hill, and do that the way that it's designed to be in Jeff Lawton's Earthworks course. So that's just a real quick rundown. Leave a comment, ask some questions, whatever you want. Our climate is a temperate climate. We get roughly 46 inches of rain a year. And all of this, it's all groundwater runoff, and there is I would call it a spring back up in those woods. If you walk about another, quarter of a mile back into those woods, there's where a farmer's field comes together in a confluence of other different properties, and right there's a low area, and I've been told that it's a spring. I've walked through it. It doesn't really look like spring water. It's got that kind of dark tint to it, like you would expect when water passes through a lot of organic matter. But there is enough clearness to it, and there's a lot of deer that hang out up in there. So I don't know if it's an actual spring or not, but that water eventually comes down and flows onto my property. And so there's a constant flow of water, with an exception of the month of July and August. But after this rain here, which we're basically almost right at the middle of August, from now on this whole area will be, if I don't drain it, I don't do anything to drain it at all, put a pump in there, get that water out. I mean, there's no sense in me trying to get a piece of equipment in there now. It just will bog down, and I'll have to call somebody to come pull me out, and that's no fun. At this point, if I get close to the edges, any equipment that I have, it's falling in, and you won't see it unless you dive down in there and hook a chain to it and yank it out, because that's a deep hole right there. I estimate that we're looking at probably a good 12 feet. So we have some good water security on this property, and I definitely like what I see at this point. More updates to come. This is the Redleg A1 out here, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.